Oh, that's so good.
Wow.
So good.
Yeah.
125 ball speed. We need to get you a little further away. You're a little close.
Yeah.
Not terrible. Your posture's pretty good, but your hands just get a little bit close to you.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm going to do is just going to get you a little bit further away. On the backswing, you get the right arm a little bit high.
Yeah.
So when we compare it to the left, it's a little bit high, which gets the club a little bit steep. And then as it transitions, it gets even higher.
Yeah.
And what that does, it puts the club in quite a steep position. And then when the club's in a steep position, we're likely to have the club cutting across the ball, which is what gives us the sort of left to right.
Yeah.
And because it's relatively steep, you feel that and sense that, and you try and shallow it. And the way you shallow it is by releasing the club early and moving the head backwards, which suddenly makes your contact point early.
That's where I'm. Yeah. Okay.
So we wouldn't at this stage directly look at contact.
Yeah.
What we would say is that if we can get the swing shape a little better, get the club approaching from a better angle, perfect scenario, strike gets better. Okay, so if I just put that across your toes,
Yep.
okay, if you just jump off, I'm pretty much the same as you. Now, not everyone has the same setups, but that would be me. Right, okay, and I'm 6 foot-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not necessarily going to be exactly where I am, but you can see that there's going to be a little bit of difference.
Yeah.
So just get yourself set up as normal now. So don't need to be further away. We'll move you a little bit. Try and keep hands where they are, club where they are.
Yeah.
And just shuffle back a tiny bit at a time. Beautiful. Okay, so I reckon that was probably, that was a good 4 inches.
Yeah.
I reckon you can get a little closer, maybe 1 inch closer. There you go. How's that feel? Miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I'm reaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll see when you watch this video back from that camera, it looks
Yeah.
great. I'm just going to give you a little reference point.
Yeah.
Here. I'll put one on the front as well. A little hole here. Look.
Yeah.
So if you're sort of one ball inside there,
Yeah.
toes in line with that, and you're golden. That was better straight away. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we could leave it there. So, but yeah, great, really good.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah.
Again, strike was great.
Yeah.
A little left, but that's fine. And obviously a pull left and a cut to the right, coming from the same swing. It's just the club face that's slightly different.
Yeah.
So get yourself set up to this one, and we're going to dive in and do a little bit of backswing work now.
Okay.
I just want you to think about putting speed into that club head.
Okay.
That's all you're going to do. Okay. Turn the shoulders back a little bit. Elbow down. Okay. You're not allowed to make a backswing, so you've just got to start from there. Okay. Swing that club through with some speed. Easy. Okay.
Yeah.
Same again. Can't make a backswing. Harder?
A lot harder. Yeah,
okay.
Everything's in the wrist.
Exactly. So that's what we're essentially saying. So when you make your backswing, you're putting your right arm and the club in a position where it's not natural. It's like you kind of want to go, I need that club like that side of my hands. So if we did that again, if I put you into this position here and said now, swing the club through, but you can make a bit of a backswing, I'd almost guarantee you'd want to go and you'd want to put the club more behind you because that's where it wants to be. So if I said to you from there, how would you swing through? You'd sort of probably loop it behind and then swing through, exactly.
Yeah.
So we could take your current backswing here and say to you, well, let's create this big loop, but I'd rather just put you in position. Just if we can get you in position here and then you can just kind of turn through. We're looking at where the club is in terms of its angle and what these elbows are doing.
Yeah.
So if we were to look from this angle, this would be a golf club which is very steep.
Yeah.
When we look from the front view, that would be because for you, this elbow is too high.
Yeah.
So what we've got to try and do for you is to try and say, can we get this elbow a little lower in the backswing?
Yeah.
Which would naturally change the angle of the golf club. So if you go back to setup, tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
So we're going to go take away here, and then that right arm is going to start to fold a little bit more. So it starts to feel like it sits a little bit lower. And what that will do from that face on, that will be closer to being level with this elbow, and that will naturally put this in this position. If you take your glove hand off, what we're essentially doing is changing the rotation in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So if you think about what this would do, elbow higher, club steeper.
Yeah.
Elbow lower, club flatter.
Yeah.
Steeper, flatter. Okay. So it's actually coming, it's called shoulder rotation, but it's affecting where your elbow is and where the club is.
Yeah.
So back to setup, both hands on. Here, and then that right arm starts to feel like it folds and sits a little bit lower. Excellent. Now I'd love you to do that and soften the wrist a little bit.
Okay.
Good. You can still have a little bit of pressure through the fingers.
Yeah.
But as I'm moving that club, the wrists feel
Very
quite tight. Yeah. So we want to feel here. Okay. Now just try and get this shoulder a little bit more behind you so that right arm is wider.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Excellent. Good. Like to see this a little wider. Okay?
Wider.
So
Yeah.
there we go. Good.
Okay.
Tuck. There you go. Good, good. There you go.
Yeah.
Good. I'm not a big fan of putting head covers under here.
Yeah.
Because it might be good for the first part, but at the end of your backswing it needs to wide, but almost a feeling of a little bit tighter with that. There we go. So you
Keeping it
feel
in
like
a bit
almost,
more.
where does that elbow feel like it's pointing?
Yeah.
Sort of right hip.
Yeah.
Okay, back to start. Try that again. Better. Good. Set up, toes in line.
Yeah.
Backswing. I will come in and help you if you need to.
Yeah.
Once you're here, you can have a little backswing, but clip it. 50 yards. That's hard.
Yeah.
Most people go at full tilt. So literally just set it here, elbows more level. When I moved up the way, you're just going to literally try and clip it 50 yards. Excellent, good. Moving through better now. Because
Yeah.
you haven't got to get rid of this
No.
steepness. It gives you this ability to sort of turn through a little bit more naturally, which is excellent. Okay, pretty good. You're just a little bit stiff here.
Yeah.
And when you stiffen the wrists, you try and get the leverage through this right arm. So when I do this, I'm creating a bit more set here
More in the wrist.
and a bit more width here. That's the best backswing you've done on your own.
Yeah. I've loosened my grip a little bit.
There we go. That was a great goal swing.
Yeah.
Great goal swing. Again, much better. Not perfect, not as good as the one before, but much better. And then just let the club swing through. Love that. Really good. Whatever I do in my backswing, I could completely change my backswing, but instinctively I'm going to want to get the club back to where it's always been, just because you're more familiar with that. So at the moment, what we've got, much better posture, much better setup. This is giving us so much more opportunity to do the right thing, but there's still a tendency for you to want to move back into a position that you're more familiar with, even though we've got great here. We now need to just give you a slightly different way to transition into the downswing.
Yeah.
Ball's going to go in the same place, toes in line,
Yeah.
elbow low and wide here. And then from here, you're going to add a little bit of shift. So that's a little bit of lateral shift. And as you do that, you're going to thump the bag. So a little bit of shift, thump the bag. Not hard, but you know, you're doing it with a little bit of speed. I'm going to do that a few times. And then I'm going to add some turn, which is going to collect the golf ball. So whereas I'm hitting that bag, I'm essentially shifting a little bit, but I'm not really turning a huge amount. I'm just letting the arms work down.
Yeah.
So it will look like this. So we'll get you to do 2 into the bag. So set up, elbows level, 1, 2, 3. A little heavy, but we're just trying to get the first movement a little bit more down and a little bit less out. Good, slow, good, 2, good, then just collect the ball. Very nice. Okay, path at 0.1. That's where you need to live.
Okay.
That is where you need to live. That is how you hit straight golf shots.
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay.
1, 2, and then just collect it. Really good. When you hit the bag, the club is obviously hitting the bag, which is good. Try and do that with what you feel is no rotation.
Okay.
So you can shift it a little bit. So if you just go back swing. So as you're hitting the bag, you're actually still trying to turn these. So try and feel there's a little bit of shift. Arms go down, but not a huge amount of turn.
Okay.
So you can shift, but arms down. That's it. Save the turn for when you actually kind of collect the ball.
Okay.
That's better, good. Let's go ahead and just see if we can put it into full swing.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave that bag there.
Yeah.
But I want you to have that really as a visual. So when you go to the top, so zoom your backswing. Okay, you can hit full shots now without stopping.
Yeah.
your almost idea is, can you get the club head to go down to the bag? Now, because you're going to hit full shots and you're going to be adding body rotation, so if you add body rotation, you'll never hit the bag.
No.
But the idea is that you're still trying to move the club down, because your arms have got to move the club down and your body is responsible for the bringing it out in front. So have that there, but I want you to basically go set up. Once you're happy there, that's out your mind.
Yep.
Might feel strange, but it's out your mind. Elbow lower, club to the bag and swing through. That's a very nice golf shot, mate.
That felt nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Love that. That was a really good golf swing. And that's the first one you've put all together, which is sometimes hard to do. Oh, that was really good. So the previous shot you hit, the ball speed was 126 miles an hour. When we started, your average ball speed was 97.
Big difference.
That was your average.
Wow.
Now your club speed was 85, so your club speed hasn't really changed.
Yeah.
But it's just that quality of strike is completely different.
The club head seems in a completely different position.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm struggling with my wrists anymore.
Good. Oh, that's so good.
Wow.
So good.
Yeah.
125 ball speed. That's like 28 mile an hour faster.
Yeah.